You've watched movies your whole life. They've made you laugh, they've made you cry, and maybe they've even changed a little bit of who you are. And yeah, it's no secret, movies can help you learn English too. But here's something you probably don't know. You're only scratching the surface with them. And by that I mean, you're just using about 10% of the total potential a movie has to improve your English. If only you knew what you're missing, the other 90%, then every movie you watched would have a huge impact on your fluency. So today I have Ethan here in the Global Studio, and we're going to be discussing how to use movies to build conversational skills. Not with exercises like shadowing, those are great, but we've already covered them in the previous lessons. We're talking about practicing, expressing yourself, putting your thoughts into words naturally, and building the confidence you need to chat with real people, because that's what you need right now.
All right, Izzy, I'm really excited to pick your brain today. So you've actually tried all these exercises yourself. And as you were telling me, they all are leveraging like the most cutting edge technology so that learners really can apply some of the best tools that are available nowadays to take their English to the next level, right? Break out of that intermediate plateau. So should we just jump right into the first one?
We should, but before we do, you said you make use of cutting edge technology. What is that?
Cutting edge is like super innovative. So if you think of like the edge is maybe the place where it's like the very latest or the very border of where our technology is at today. It's like, you know, at the very, very on that line.
Nice. I had never thought about it that way. Kind of makes it easier to visualize it. Anyway, so the first exercise, I'm calling it the spoiler master.
Why is it called a spoiler? Do you know?
Like when you tell a friend about a movie you've watched that they haven't, because you're spoiling their experience, right? So yeah, Ethan, this exercise is really great for warming up your speaking. So it's the best one to get started with. I'm going to explain now how to do this. It's very simple. There's 3 steps. First one is you're going to watch the whole movie or pick a movie you've recently seen. Then 2, we're going to open Sesame. It's this AI app that allows you to practice speaking. It's really fun. And it's the best one that I've found, so far that really creates this experience that feels like you're talking to a person. So we're going to open Sesame, log in with your Google account or Apple, and start a conversation. So when you do that, that's when you're going to give it this command, this prompt. So I recorded a demonstration that we're going to watch right now. Check it out. Hey Maya, I'm Izzy. I'm an English learner, and in this conversation, I'd like to practice by retelling a movie plot. I'm going to explain the plot of the movie Ice Age, and after I finish, please ask me at least 3 follow-up questions about any points from the plot that I missed.
Gotcha. Ice Age, nice. All right, lay it on me. I'm all ears. And yeah, 3 follow-ups, no problem.
Okay, so the movie tells the story of Sid, Manny, and Diego. They are these 3 animals. Sid is a sloth, Diego is a tiger, and Manny is a mammoth. And together they find a lost human baby, and they decide they take on this mission to return the baby to its human tribe. But it's a real long journey, right? And there's a problem. Diego is actually secretly planning to betray them, to ambush them with his tiger pack, with his tiger friends. So as they face different challenges together, they go on this journey together. Diego actually starts to bond with Manny and Sid. And in the end, he has a change of heart. Diego switches sides, right? So he fights off his pack and he wins. He beats his tiger pack, but gets gravely wounded. And he tells Sid and Manny to finish the mission. So they do. Manny and Sid go ahead and deliver the baby to its father. And we see at the end that Diego actually survives. So they reunite and become the Ice Age trio we love.
All right, that was a pretty solid overview. You hit the big beats. Okay, 3 questions. Let's see. First, you mentioned the challenges they face on the journey. Can you tell me about one specific obstacle that really tested their teamwork?
I think the scene with the birds, right?
Yep. The birds. Go on.
Okay, yeah, the birds. The dodos. that what they're called?
Yeah, dodos. They're not the brightest birds. Haha.
Yeah, so they kind of work together to fight them and beat them. They're trying to grab this watermelon, and so they're fighting over a watermelon, and the dodos they're insane, right? So they kill themselves. They're really chaotic. That's what I remember.
Totally chaotic. Yeah, that whole watermelon scene is pretty wild. You're right to bring that up. It's definitely a moment where they have to figure out how to work together when things are just completely bananas. Okay, back to the questions. What do you think was...
Yeah, and she continued asking me questions there, Ethan. So she asked me, for example, if I remembered why Manuel was so depressed, in the beginning and everything. And later we discover, right, there's his backstory later in the movie. So it was really, really good conversation there.
I think that Sesame, because I've used that tool as well, like sometimes I use it to rehearse before these podcasts, actually, even as a native speaker, right? And the thing that stands out about it is that it really is uncanny how much it sounds like a real human, a real native speaker, like even how the intonation, how it makes pauses, just compared to other AIs that even have speaking features. I like some of the expressions that she uses as well. Like, I think it's great for English learners because she uses so many expressions. So, for example, there at the end, that she said that things are bananas. That's a really fun expression. What does that mean if something is bananas?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just insane, crazy.
And that she's quite sarcastic, right? Like she's like, dodos aren't the brightest birds. Haha.
Yeah, they're not the most intelligent birds.
One thing I wanted to ask you actually about using this, because I am imagining for an English learner, we could even see there in the clip that at some point she says like, okay, or all right, when you're explaining, but you're not done explaining. So if their English isn't quite as fluent and they're being slower, I could imagine them getting interrupted by the AI before they've finished their summarization, their summary of the plot. So do you have any recommendations to avoid that?
I mean, you can always interrupt AI too, and you can ask them, wait a moment, I'm still talking, I'm still thinking, and then they'll be like, okay, I'll wait. So you can say that. There's this whole question about being polite with AI. Do you need to say please? Do you need to say thank you? But yeah, you can just tell it what you want to tell it. But what's more important, I think, that you do if you're using this is create a list of bullet points before you start. And I did that. Maybe you saw, like if you guys were watching, you saw that I was reading some parts, because I was just like checking out, like, okay, what's the next part of the story again? Okay, great. And then I continued. And if you do that and you practice, you see that you get more comfortable as the more you try it. And I did this a couple times. So this was the second time, with another movie, and I was already kind of feeling more like loose and able to do it. So I bet that if you try it like several times with the same movie, you'd really master the ability to retell it, right?
I'd recommend even doing some dry runs. A dry run it's what you and I do too before the podcast, right? It's like a rehearsal. You practice it before you're actually going to be recorded. So that could be a good thing is to like already practice how you're going to be telling the AI, how you're going to be telling Sesame. They actually have names, right? I think the female one is Maya. How you're going to be explaining to her about the plot. And if you do that a couple times, then when it actually comes time to interact with her, hopefully it'll come out in a fluid way and you won't be getting interrupted too much.
And you can adapt as much as you want. Like if you feel like I want her to ask me more questions, if she's done asking you, because the prompt only gives her the instruction to ask you 3 questions, but you want more, you can say, ask me more questions. Ask me 5 questions. Say whatever you want. Like let's talk about this other movie. That's the beauty, that's the fun of AI. And if this is your first time trying it for you guys, this is a great way to do it. You have already a prompt that you can use, and you gotta start to test the waters there, with AI and see what works for you.
And by the way, guys, we're recommending some AI tools today. We don't have these capabilities on the app yet, but it's actually something that we're currently working on adding these, and it's going to be obviously a far better experience because it'll be really personalized to you as an English learner, and also for like interacting on a deeper level with our content so that you can really become that confident, natural English speaker that you've always dreamed of becoming. So definitely make sure that you're using the app as much as you can and keeping up with the updates.
Yeah, exactly. Like right now, I'm working on a lesson with Ice Age, right? With this movie that I just talked about there in the recording. And with this feature of practicing with AI on our app, you'll have exactly that, but as you're saying, much better, because it'll be embedded with the lesson. So you're watching the lesson, you're learning the vocabulary, and then you practice right from there, right?
And not to mention, like, there was a bunch of advanced expressions that Maya used there that we only defined a couple, but I bet there was several there that you guys didn't understand. So you have vocabulary flashcards for all those, so you can remember them forever. You can learn them and remember them. All right, Izzy. So really amazing first exercise. I'm looking forward to hear what else you got for us. Lay it on me, as Maya said there.
So the next one, I'm calling it the vocabulary steel trap. Do you know you guys know what a steel trap is? Like, how would you define that?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's kind of gruesome. Like when people used to hunt for animals, it was like this thing that you see that has like very sharp metal teeth, and it has like a disc in the middle that when an animal would step on it, it would like close around their leg or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of horrifying thing there. But the important thing about it, don't think too much about it, but just think about the fact that nothing can escape it, right? And just like a steel trap, I'm going to practice now with an exercise where no vocabulary is going to escape you, no advanced word. And this is really great. This exercise is going to be really great for expanding your vocabulary, for improving your ability to talk about different things, for expressing yourself. We believe that learning the vocabulary that natives use, that fluent speakers use, is very important, exactly because without those, you're going to be just like thinking like, oh, how do I say that word? And that's one of the reasons why people get stuck, right? So learn the vocabulary, and we're going to do that now. So for this exercise, you're going to grab a notebook or use your phone for typing. Step number 2, you're going to pick a movie, ideally one with more dialogues, and you're going to watch it for 5 minutes. Step number 3, as you watch the movie, you're going to write down all your missed expressions that you can catch. And probably you need to pause as you go, right? Because if you're writing, you may miss another expression if you don't pause. So pause. And step number 4, once you're done, it's time to share your notes with AI. So AI again. You're going to open the Gemini app. If you're using the Android, you have that already on your phone. If not, you can use ChatGPT. It's going to open the conversation already with AI, and you can immediately just type this. Let me read the command, the prompt to you guys. In my next message, I'll share with you a list of expressions in English that I'm learning. Please explain it to me using simple words and real-life examples when necessary. So you're going to hit send, and it'll be waiting for you just to send your list of expressions. Now, the cool thing about it is that you can simply take a picture of the list of expressions that you wrote, or you can just simply paste the expressions there and hit send, and it'll give you everything you asked. So all the explanations and all the examples. So we're going to read it carefully and process it. Once you feel like you got everything, now try and watch those 5 minutes again, and you're going to see the beauty of that. So I thought that we could practice here and demonstrate how to do that, Ethan, and invite all of you guys watching and listening to do the same. We're going to watch a clip here from a movie, Captain America. I love this one. The second one, of the Winter Soldier. And in this clip, it's in the beginning where Steve Rogers, Captain America, he is just running. He's jogging, you could say. And this other guy who is also in the military, obviously he's not a superhero, so he can't run as fast, and it just annoys him. And it's the first time they're talking to each other, they're seeing each other. So let's check it out.
Need a medic? I need a new set of lungs. Dude, you just ran like 13 miles in 30 minutes.
Guess I got a late start.
Really? You should be ashamed of yourself. You should take another lap. Did you just take it? I assume you just took it.
What unit you with?
58th Pararescue. But now I'm working down at the VA. Sam Wilson.
Steve Rogers.
I kind of put that together. Must have freaked you out coming home after the whole defrosting thing.
Takes some getting used to. It's good to meet you, Sam.
All right. Oh, several expressions there. So let's see what you got, Ethan. Can you give me your whole list, and then we'll see what AI has.
Yeah, that was a great scene. It was chock full of expressions. So we saw medic, new set of lungs, take another lap, pararescue, the VA, which maybe it's not so much vocabulary, it's more of a cultural thing, but AI can help with that too. Freak someone out, defrost, take some getting used to.
A ton, right? In what, 30 seconds, 35 seconds? So now we can just put these on AI, and we're going to be showing it on screen right now. If you're watching, you can see all the explanations and all the examples. So if you just take some time to process everything and watch that scene again, and go back and watch it right now, you're going to get everything, right? Or at least the vocabulary, it won't be confusing to you anymore. So it's really great for that.
So Izzy, a thought occurred for me here because I have this problem myself, that I use ChatGPT, for example, also with Portuguese. Anytime I'm watching something or talking to a friend and hear a new expression, I'll whack it in there. I'll put it in that tool because it's so much better than a dictionary. But then it's just, I have all these expressions and stuff there that they don't really get processed. So I think something that can be useful is there's different flashcard apps, or like you can use a spreadsheet, right? And put like a column for the expression, a column for the definition, a column for the example, and so on. And this helps you to have them all organized in one place. That's better than just the chat history in Gemini or ChatGPT. But that's why our app, the RealLife English app, is so great, because we have, for example, so many lessons with different TV series and movies and celebrities and so on, that you can go kind of like we just saw the scene there, right? Watch a clip, and then you have like all the definitions laid out for you. And then we've taken all the hard work out of making flashcards for these that have examples and pictures and pronunciation and all this great stuff that really helps you to add them to your long-term memory. And really, it's going to save you tons of time. So this is great. Like, use it, the exercises you just gave. If you have anything that you're wanting to learn with, you should totally do that. But if you're wanting to save a ton of time, then, and you're like a busy, like Izzy and I are, then we've already created some great lessons to take the grunt work out of it.
Totally. And our library of lessons is really long at this point. Like, you can find so many movies like in series. So as you were saying, like if Captain America is not interesting to you, you'll find other things there, like comedy, drama, and so much. So yeah, go ahead and click link in the description right now to download it. All right, so the next exercise is called taking the leap. So taking the leap, that's a collocation, by the way, it's an expression actually. That means just being brave and think of like a bungee jump, right? You're taking a leap there and jumping. Being courageous.
To have like a leap of faith is
a leap of faith.
Yeah. Or sometimes people will use the it's like a saying, right? Like, jump and the net will appear. So it's a similar expression, right? Basically saying that if you put yourself out there, if you take the risk, then you'll kind of figure out how to make it work.
Yeah. So why is this one called taking the leap? It's because you're going to be watching a scene without any subtitles, even if you're not feeling like brave enough or that you have the ability to understand what you hear or everything you hear. But that's what's cool about it, because this is kind of like an exercise. It's kind of like an intense workout. They go to the gym, but for your listening skills. So you're going to go to that point of that limit, that breaking point. What is that called? Your point of failure, right? Where you'll be like, I can't understand this. I don't know what he said. So that's great. That's a point. That's the edge, the border of your knowledge. So then you have something new to learn. It's a good thing, right? So here are the steps of the exercise. You're going to pick a movie that you've already seen and put the subtitles in English. And it's very important that you've already seen this one, because you don't want to be too concerned with the context, like what's happening. You just want to be able to focus more on the dialogue, right? The lines and the words. So start watching, and then when a good scene comes up, one that you know that it's about to start, you pause, and then you turn off the subtitles. And that's when the game starts. So now we're going to hit play. Yeah, exactly. So you're going to hit play, and as soon as you hear the first line and the first sentence, pause. You're going to write that line down, what you think they said. Then you hit play again, hear the next line, pause again, and write it. And you're going to do this until you've reached the end of the scene. And you can go back if necessary. You can go back to listening to that line again, but don't slow it down. Keep it at 1 time speed, because you're practicing with it's the real deal, right? This is the It's an intense workout, as I was saying. So once you're done with the scene, now you can watch it. So once you're done watching it, now you can go back and go again, but this time with subtitles in English. And then you'll compare your notes with what they actually said. And it's really great for, as I was saying, and this will allow you to identify exactly, where are your gaps, where are the mistakes in your listening comprehension. So I have here a clip, a 24-second clip that we're going to watch now, and it's going to be great for already trying this challenge. And remember to pause as you go. If you're on an app, you can do that. If you're on YouTube, you can do it too. And let's get started. This is from The Wolf of Wall Street with Leo DiCaprio.
Hello, John. How you doing today? You mailed in my company a postcard a few weeks back requesting information on penny stocks that had huge upside potential with very little downside risk. Does that ring a bell? Okay, great. Well, reason for the call today, John, is something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea with you. You got a minute?
So I found this really interesting because currently I'm watching my first novella in Portuguese, and it doesn't have subtitles in Portuguese. Like there's no, probably because I'm watching it from Spain, there's option for Spanish subtitles and English subtitles, and it's too much. Like I don't want to like mix languages, so I just like took the leap to use that expression that you used, and I'm watching it without any subtitles. And at first it was like really challenging. I noticed it depends a little bit too on the person. Maybe they have different accents, but there are some people that I just heard like a jumble of sounds. I'm like, is that even Portuguese? Like, I don't understand any of that. But over time, I've noticed it's getting easier. And I thought that this is actually like a really nice exercise to actually apply some deliberate practice, that I could do this myself when watching that novella. Beleza Fatal.
Beleza Fatal. Fatal Beauty.
Fatal Beauty.
Yeah, and it's little by little, you become more capable of understanding everything you hear. So this is important. I said that these exercises are good for your conversational skills. So it's important to understand and be understood. So this is really effective for...
I imagine it helps a lot with your listening because you can start to identify patterns too, where maybe you're missing things. And for example, a lot of it might be due to connected speech, that you didn't hear something because two words went together. So it's like the first time you might not understand that, and you put subtitles and you're like, oh, I remember he said like John I, like he did a connected speech with John and the pronoun I, like John I. And at first you might be thinking like, oh, is the guy's name John I? Like that's kind of a weird sounding name. I haven't heard that before. And then you realize it was actually two words that got connected. There's probably a lot of examples like this that you can start to notice, and it'll help your listening and your speaking, right? If you want to speak more natural.
So anyway, as we promised, now let's watch the clip again with subtitles, and you can see what you got wrong and what you got right.
Hello, John. How you doing today? You mailed in my company a postcard a few weeks back requesting information on penny stocks that had huge upside potential with very little downside risk. Does that ring a bell? Okay, great. Well, reason for the call today, John, is something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea with you. You got a minute?
All right, Izzy, we just have one more exercise, so...
All right, this is the most advanced one. And I saved it for last, obviously, because if you practice with these three enough, you're ready for this one. I'm calling it...
graduate to this one, right?
Yeah, graduate to Clash of Opinions. So this one won't be so much about practicing like sounds or just like learning words. This is when you're going to use all of your knowledge to debate AI, right?
There's a video game called Clash of Titans, right? Like maybe people
Clash of Titans. Yeah, like a mobile game. Right? Yeah. So a clash of opinions, like clash is it's a battle, right? It's a fight.
Yeah. You know, literally like this, like clash. Two things clashing together.
So this is an exercise that I think most teachers or schools out there are not so focused on kind of giving you, because it's not about English per se, like the words, but it is, because this is real use of English. This exercise works your critical thinking and creative thinking in English using the knowledge you already have. So it's kind of similar to the first one, but more advanced. So in the first one, you discuss the plot, right? And you ask your questions about the plot. So you kind of fill in like the gaps, and that's great. But what if the conversation evolved into a debate where you have your own opinion, maybe AI wants to challenge that. And you're going to have to explain, what you're thinking and why you think that's the case. So here's how the exercise will work. Just like the first one, you're going to pick a movie they've already seen. And you're going to start the conversation with Sesame. So go to sesame.com. By the way, we're showing on screen right now, if you didn't catch that in the first exercise, but we're showing on screen a lot of how to do this, right? So this is a good one for catching on our app. And go to Sesame and start the conversation. And you'll tell Sesame this. So I have another recorded demo that I want to show you that I made this week. Check it out. Hey Sesame, I'm Izzy. I'm an English learner, and I'd like to discuss the movie The Pursuit of Happiness with you. So let's start the conversation with you asking me easy questions about the plot and evolving it into a real debate.
Sounds good. Okay, so easy one to start. What's the main thing Chris Gardner is really trying to achieve in the movie, you think?
He is trying to get a job, to land a job at a financial firm.
Right. And do you think the film does a good job of showing why he's so driven to get that job? Like what motivates him beyond just wanting a paycheck,
Sure. Yeah, he is trying to provide for his son, right? They're really struggling financially. And I think the movie does a good job of showing that, because it keeps showing him at the office and then back at home, then at the office again, and then he loses his home. And it's just that transition, and he's always like pretending everything is fine at work, right?
Right. That switching back and forth is really effective, isn't it? It hammers home that everything he's doing, every grueling hour, it isn't just about climbing the career ladder. It's directly tied to Christopher's well-being. It's not just, I want a better life. It's, I want a better life for him. Do you think the film portrays the difficulties of homelessness realistically, though? Or does it maybe soften the edges a bit?
Good question. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, it does soften the edges a bit, because those locations where the homeless people are and where they go to, they're kind of clean, right? They look pretty clean a lot of times, and I don't think it is like that in reality.
Yeah, that's a really good observation. So what do you make of that choice, you think? Like, why do you think they went that route, showing homelessness in a way that's less harsh, maybe?
So people noticed, I'm sure it was Sesame still, but it's a different voice. So that's Miles, I believe his name is. You have Maya and Miles. And man, that was really packed too. Again, like just use so many expressions. Like some ones I took note of are like driven, a paycheck, to provide for someone, to hammer home a point, like every grueling hour, homelessness, harsh, soften the edges. So if you guys are watching the app, of course, you have vocabulary flashcards for all these, or you can tap on them on the transcript to get definitions. But I want to highlight one I liked a lot for everyone that's listening, which is hammers home, just because it's so visual, right? That it's like hammers home. Like hammers is that tool that you use to put a nail in the wall, for example. And so you're thinking just like it kind of like pounds, like it's in a forceful way. It's making a point known, right? Making a opinion or a point very explicit.
Yeah, because home, I can say like drive home. I mean, maybe that's the more common expression, which is exactly what you're saying. But hammer makes it even more forceful and effective, like impactful, right?
One thing I wanted to comment on this exercise, Izzy, is that I think it's a very useful one if anyone is in a relationship with someone from another country and like English is the language that they use. Because anyone who's ever been in a relationship that's with someone who they don't speak their first language, one of the most challenging, the thing that puts you to the test the most is when you get in an argument, because that's when you really want to switch to your native language and you can't. So I've had that experience myself, and this exercise is really good for, I'm sure there's other more positive situations where it'll be useful for you, but it just made me think of that kind of situation.
You want to be understood, right? You want to make yourself understood, like in an argument.
When you have those strong emotions and the words just won't come out.
Yeah. Or maybe at work, maybe it's a work meeting and it really matters that you're able to share that opinion or to give that idea. And if you're not, like that's going to suck. So really great practice here. And you can practice whatever you want, right? I gave you guys this prompt because it really makes it easy. If you have the right topic, it just works. Like if you don't have the right topic, you'll struggle. I struggle. I speak English naturally. Like I could do this in Portuguese and I'd still struggle if you don't give me a topic. It would be like, okay, what can I talk about? So it's magic when you find the right one. And movies are great, right? Because we're so passionate about the ones we love and everything.
I feel like that was a great tip, though. I know a lot of you that like are watching and listening, you're learning English for your job. So it's like if you have a meeting coming up or a presentation and you're feeling a lot of pressure of it, it's like, this is a great tool for that. Go and tell Maya or Miles, like, I want to talk to you about this idea for work. And that way you're going to feel a lot more confident when it actually comes time to use it with real people.
There we go. Oh, and a final thing, if you're feeling intimidated by any of this, like, oh, like Miles, he's using all this slang and he's just like speaking fast, you can ask him to repeat. You can ask him to repeat. Yeah, you can ask him to repeat specific words. You know, it's like, what did you just say again? What was the expression you used? I didn't catch that. And they'll say like, what does that mean? So you can really treat it as a person. Like, it's not. Don't be afraid of it. It's your friend if you make it your friend.
And we're like so excited to be having this actual sort of feature right on the RealLife English app, right?
Yeah. Totally. Like there's so much that we can do, and we'll hear from you guys too. Like when we release it soon, hear all the feedback and continue improving it.
Oh yeah.
All right. And these are the 4 exercises, and it's so exciting to be using cutting edge technology, as you said, in these, because it's really like a breathing this fresh air into English and language learning in ways that we've never seen before. Like how could just one thing it would be possible to be speaking with a machine, right? And we do all of this for practice. We're not saying that this is the end game. This is where you're going to stop, and this is the final goal of your learning is to be speaking with AI. But you do want to practice so you can, later when you're at work, an important meeting, presentation, with your partner from another country, for traveling, all these situations with real people, you already have that practice, right? You already have the vocabulary, the experience, and these are really great tools that we're offering you. So, Ethan, it was a pleasure to do this lesson with you, and I think
Likewise.
Also want to thank all of our producers here in the studio. We have T, Humbert, and Fabia with us, and I thank all of you guys watching and listening today. And as we say in all of our lessons, that no matter what divides us, that which unites us is far greater. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for joining us today, guys. And I just wanted to give you a quick update, so don't click away yet. We are only going to be publishing from now on the RealLife English podcast here on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms once every 2 weeks. So half as much as usual. But over on the RealLife English app, they're actually getting a lesson every single week. So if you want to get those exclusive lessons and be learning with us every single week, then it's free for you to get started by tapping the link down in the description below. And if you're sticking with us here on YouTube, then a free way for you to support us is by giving this video a like and subscribing and hitting the bell. That way you don't miss a single one of our new lessons. Might be a little bit more tricky to keep up now that we're only publishing every other week. And finally, you might want to check out this fantastic lesson next.
And this is literally what I did. It took me 2 years, I believe. Yeah, like from 2010 to 2012. In 2010, I was still watching with subtitles in Portuguese. The fact that you can understand some things is already all you need to start to understand more things. This learning process of discovering things on my own, I think, gave me a lot of